Welcome back, everybody, to a McChat's commentary track. It's been a long while since we've done one of these, but we are back, baby. Time to talk some Stranger Things Season 1, and there's no better person to share some chit-chat on this episode with than Mr. Mark Espinoza from NeverEndingRadicalDude.com. How have you been, Mark?
Hey, so am I great to talk to because I'm a stranger, because I'm a thing? Like, what are you trying to say here, buddy? Come on.
Well, because the quality of our conversations go to 11, of course.
I made a vow to myself not to make that joke, but I think I already made it like 3 times already, so.
Yeah, it works. And it works because, you know what, people are listening. There was a demand for us to return to these, and with the announcement and the trailer dropping, or the teaser dropping of Season 2, what better time, you know? We have only got 7 more episodes, including this one, to catch up to the new season, and I'm sure... What'd you think of kind of the sneak peek we got?
Pretty epic, right? I mean, not just another monster, but like maybe a very like grandiose, huge, like skywalking beast in the distance. So I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna jump right into it, huh?
I've heard some people like allude to almost Lovecraftian style type of phenomenon this season.
Now, like the old gods returning or something. I'm like, okay, it was interesting to have like, you know, one level of, you know, interdimensional madness, but then like, oh, okay, these ancient beings are going to be walking the earth. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah.
And so definitely they didn't give away too much, except that stuff's happening yet again.
Ghostbusters has been in the movie theaters.
Yeah, kids dress up as Ghostbusters. And hope, you know, it's 1984, I'm guessing, based off of that. So we'll see like what's in store for all of our crew of young, intrepid, almost Goonie-ish heroes. But for right now, we're picking up where we left off with some commentary on Episode 2, The Weirdo on Maple Street. And typically how we go about starting off these commentaries is just make sure you have the episode on Netflix synced up to the 0 mark as we have it synced up. You won't hear any audio on our end, but when we count down from 3, 2, 1, play, on play, you hit play. Easy as pie. And you'll hear us provide some commentary to accompany the episode throughout. So, are we ready for this, Mark?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right.
So ready.
So here we are, Chapter 2, The Weirdo on Maple Street, 0 mark. Get ready to press play in 3, 2, 1, play. Netflix!
Boom.
Yeah, I guess that's more appropriate. But picking up where we left off, they had discovered Elle in the woods, but she's not called Elle yet, so...
Yeah.
But...
Wow. I forgot this just jumps right into it. I'm like, okay, you're in the basement now. Let's start poking you.
I kind of appreciated that between episodes, is that there's no immediate... Or there's no, like... You don't have to follow up, like, we're going to go from the woods to the house. It's like, nope, just straight up, they're at the house already.
Yeah.
But...
And I'm 99% sure I had that couch growing up. Like that weird, like, picture pattern on it.
I'm 99% sure that this is the same basement from... Did you ever see Garden State?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Like the house party they go to in Garden State, and they're doing, like, drugs in the basement and spin the bottle. And it looks exactly like this basement. So...
Well, it's weird about Jersey is that, like, growing up in Jersey, I have been in people's basements and then gone to another friend's house, like, 30 blocks away, and it's the exact same house model. So I was like, wait, your living room's there. It should be over there. Oh, my God. Then talking about the episode.
I love the kind of this look here, because she always gives, like, this... It's a really kind of sad look, and then later on when she's in the closet and stuff like that... Is really like almost puppy dog eyes.
Yeah, you were tortured. Got it.
Yeah, I totally get why you'd want the door ajar.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, when we were talking about the basement stuff, like, again, I appreciate just the naturalistic kind of dynamic that all these kids have, especially.
Yeah.
I love Dustin.
Yeah, but I love how they're so communicative with each other. It's like, here's my opinion, here's my opinion, here's my opinion. Like, all plausible, all makes sense.
And honestly, when the show started, when I first saw, the first episode going in with really no real context, not really knowing what it was about, that was one of the things I had some trepidations about going in was, are these kids going to come off as natural, as naturalistic? And will it be a little too much overacting on their part, or is it going to be just the right amount? And thankfully, it is just the right amount.
Yeah.
So they're coming up with a plan, and here's where a lot of the, I guess, sort of ET-ish elements come into play a little bit. Yeah,
like you're gonna let her sleep in your house, in your basement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, she's with me now. She's part of the family. It's so weird to think, like, could I have pulled this off as a kid? Could I have had, like, a, mysterious little, like, girl person hiding in my basement without my parents knowing about it?
Yeah, you kind of wonder of, like, how efficient I would have been at age, 10? Yeah. But did you ever construct a little chair tent fort kind of along the lines of her?
Oh, yeah. I would have made Troy and Abed very proud of my pillow fort skills.
That's right. She's barely said word one in this series. Like, even in the first episode, all it was eating and smiling at the chef.
Yeah. And this is the beginning of the, like, Weapon X-Men comparisons. Like, the 11 on her arm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, okay. She's part of a, some government project. What happened to the first 10?
Right. Well, again, season 2, maybe we'll get some revelations regarding that. Although I hope not too much, just in case.
No. Yeah. It's one of those weird things where there's the D&D game is still set up on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if, I don't know how serious they got into it, but if they actually, like, if you looked at that board, it would tell you everything that's going to happen.
Real, yeah.
I doubt it, but, that's the kind of stuff I love, so.
The parallels of things taking place on the board game as opposed to the events of the actual story.
Yeah, like, you look at it and you're like, oh my god, I was all right there the entire time.
That would be called, I'm trying to be very scholarly with film critique here. The mise en scène? No.
Wow, that was better than me. I was just going to say foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing, yeah. You're probably more accurate than me. I just reached back to 2007 film appreciation class right there.
Nah, I liked it.
And there's the lovely Stephen King font.
Oh, man.
What is the actual... I feel like I might be repeating this every episode, but I'm trying to pinpoint the actual name of the font.
Oh, I don't know. But it's so damn recognizable. This, too, the whole, like, Halloween-ish.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm curious, besides just Stranger Things, have the Duffer Brothers branched out since the first season to anything else? I haven't really kept track of...
I am either. I remember when I first... This episode, I was like, all right, who the hell are the Duffer Brothers?
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and not really anything. Not a lot.
Yeah, and I guess if they're prepping for another season, that doesn't really allot them a lot of time to tackle, like, other gigs, so... And there's Winona. And this... what's the name of this actor again? But he was apparently... He's been in a couple of movies now since this. And to various degrees of success, I guess.
Damn.
But did you happen to see the acceptance speech from the Emmy? Oh, I think I might have lost Mark. Oh, well. But here we go, fulfilling in the mystery, keeping things going. You back, man?
Oh, yeah, hey, I thought you, like... Oh.
It's all good. Thankfully, we have 7 some episodes to kind of weather through some technical stuff, but
Yeah.
here
My computer wandered off.
It's all good. At least not like phones going on the fritz every time a lightning storm hits.
Great, yeah. So that'd be kind of awesome if every time we watch Stranger Things, we start to have technical, like, weirdo problems.
I'll let you know if my lights start flickering over here.
How many people you think set up the whole Christmas lights thing in their house?
Like PAs?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Like, yeah, because that's a very elaborate thing, and that's one of the things I will admit to in the series that gets me thinking a little too deep into it. Probably is the whole idea of, yeah. Well, how much of an afternoon did she spend putting up all those Christmas lights?
I like that. No, I mean, I am tempted to do the same thing in my house, to be honest.
But then again, I mean, she's committed. This character is committed to finding answers. I was saying earlier, did you see the acceptance speech from David Harbour?
Oh, yeah.
And all of the awesome reaction faces from Winona?
That was a little weird, huh?
Yeah, kind of weird. But I mean, maybe she just still was in character from.
I guess. I think my favorite meme that I saw was someone put like pizza in her eyesight, just kind of constantly moving around, and
nice.
It was pretty great.
Wait, here we go. Oh yeah, this is also the first episode where we're given a glimpse at their dad. Right, he goes to visit the dad at one point. There we go. Legos. My egos.
I love the family also, by the way.
Yeah, and I mean, they play into the 80s tropes very well. You got the concerned Dee Wallace Stone type mom.
Yeah.
And the very dismissive dad.
See, I like that too, right? And then I was like, okay, I get it. Like, there's just the parents in the 80s film. But then, like, the mom starts to kind of, like, put that character aside. And she's like, listen, I know who I'm supposed to be, but here's who I really am. Yeah. And I was like, oh, dang, that's awesome.
She starts acting like a real-life mom, too, essentially.
Yeah. And she even, like, calls it out, too. She's like, listen, I was a kid. Come on.
Well, that's what I appreciate about the series in general, is that it'll play into the stereotypes of these types of 80s movies, but then when it starts to get into very relatable real-world problems and, something considerably darker than what you would expect from this type of genre, that's kind of appreciated as well. Because I know we can look back with, was it either nostalgic goggles or whatever to that time and be like, oh, yeah, things are always so stereotypically, I guess, tacky or whatever. But don't forget, people had problems back in the 80s, too.
Yeah, man. They lived in houses with, they moved the headstones, but they didn't move the bodies. And then, the clowns in the closet. Or they tried to visit their wife at a Christmas party, and then a bunch of terrorists showed up. I mean, things were not easy in the 80s. Come out to the coast, have a few laughs.
Sunken pirate ships and full of gold.
Thank you, Mr. Willie.
There we go.
Yeah. See, I still, that guy. I can't remember his name, but like him dying, I thought. That was a shock to me because I did not see that coming.
Yeah, especially when they set it up like he would, again, kind of playing into the stereotype of, well, he's a grimy looking fella. He's got to be seedy, but then he turns out to be a genuinely nice person.
Yeah. And then you think, okay, this guy's going to be the lone wolf to her cub, and then he dies like a second later.
He was her old man Logan.
Yeah, he was.
Good old Matthew Modine.
Eminem himself.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
He's listening to Arlie Ermy recordings on the other side of that headphone. Taking him back to his Nom days.
Damn, that's right. He was so young in that.
Yeah. Joker. Yeah. So, still on the search for young Will. Now, these two, I think I mentioned before in the previous commentary, these are wholeheartedly stereotypical 80s, late 70s, early 80s stereotypes.
Oh, yeah, man. They're Lenny and Carl.
Yeah. What did you call it? The cops from Wes Craven's Last House on the Left.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's a super dark kind of horror film, and then they'll cut to bumbling cops every once in a while.
They don't really do that as much in this film with these two guys, but...
Nah, they're just kind of relegated to the background and for some much-needed kind of humor at times.
But they need to be there.
Yeah. Now, these two characters... Oh, fuck these two.
Ben Schwartz.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
Oh, did you see they did a video together, those two?
Really?
Ben Schwartz and that guy. Yeah, he acted like they were father and son or something, but then they switched roles. It was hysterical.
That's kind of... I got to check that out now. Well, no, at this point, I'm still kind of, Steve goes through an arc, obviously.
Yeah.
Like all the other characters. But, like, his two buddies, like, I'm just like, I hate those two with a passion so much.
No, totally.
I'm so hoping season 2 they get their comeuppance in some way, shape, or form.
Right. Steve, wow, I think Steve might have, like, the best arc for me.
Yeah.
He goes from, like, this asshole to a good guy to a piece of shit to, like, a hero. And I'm like, whoa, dude, Steve, where did you come from?
And again, it's bending on the tropes, and not to jump ahead too far, but, like, where you totally expect that character's trajectory to go a completely different way, and it ends up surprising you, like the turn he takes in the very, very end.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And so
what are the ages right now? What do you think? How old is, like, that kid and then her? Like, they're both, like, what, 16, 17?
Yeah, I don't want to say they're around 16 or 17. Like, they've been not freshmen quite yet, or they were freshmen, sophomore or junior. And he's dropped out, I think. That was old.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
And
okay.
And now you got to wonder how Barb puts up with this here and then goes to Riverdale and puts up with that over there.
That is a show I have not watched.
I have not either, but I just saw a promo of it, and I saw she was in it. I'm like, oh, sweet.
Oh, Barb. All right. Way to go.
I hope she takes a much more brighter turn in that show than she does in here.
Yeah. No swimming pools.
I don't recall ever having this type of conversation with my friends in elementary school.
Jeez, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, where's our buddy? Is he still in the woods last night?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's something I've never said in my entire life.
Yeah. There we go. Clever, clever. Way to go, Elliot. I mean, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, he took a sick day. Good for him.
Oh, man, when he was saying it's like, you want anything to drink, is like, I was half expecting him to say we have OJ, skim milk, purple stuff.
What is it?
Sunny D. Like
Sunny D.
But that's a little later. I forgot Sunny D's not quite 80s-ish enough, I don't think. I do love this sequence of her, like, well, just because the actress, what's her name, Bobby Millie Brown or something, she has like an awesome reaction face to all this very mundane suburban stuff.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as the lazy boy thing hits, it's like...
It's kind of cool when, like, Hollywood takes, like, they see somebody and everyone's kind of like, oh, yeah, this girl, she's going to be, like, huge.
And we might mention this before, but fabulous singer, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think she had a YouTube channel for a while, and she was, like, auditioning for Britain's Got Talent or something like that, and that might be how she got discovered. I don't know. But she's been in some other stuff, obviously, before and after this. But, yeah, she has a couple of cool singing videos. Like, her and the kid who plays Dustin, yeah, they're great singers, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in, I think, Les Mis or something like that. On Broadway.
Yep. And, again, we can't hear it, but we can see what songs are playing on here.
Yeah.
The soundtrack, exquisite.
So good. Now I can't remember. Is there the Thing poster? There's a horror movie poster, but I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, that's the Evil Dead. Evil Dead's
yeah, but
there above
another one too that was kind of very like similar to the plot.
Yeah, probably. Maybe The Thing. Yeah, that would be around that time period, definitely. But,
what's going on? Let me see your room. Turn around.
Yeah, I know. It's like you want to like freeze frame everything and catch all the little details.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like right now, I'm just remembering. Like I used to have that exact same sound system in my house back when I was like.
Yeah. I honestly think so too.
You try to hook it up. Like I had my own like wireless mic that I tried to hook up to it, see if I could use my speakers as like actual amplifiers.
How'd that work out?
Lots of feedback. I think I blew out one of the speakers once. There you go. Keep bobbing your heads there, mop tops.
All right, I don't know for sure, but it looks like it's 4:20 on their clock.
Because of course it would be.
It was definitely 4:2 something. Every time you see a clock, it's 4:20. Like, come on, guys. Come on, Duffer Brothers. What are you doing?
Meanwhile, in Hill Valley...
Save the clock tower.
Dude, if we get a season 3, that'll be just the right time. You'll have one of them dressed up in the Marty McFly life preserver jacket.
Oh, these kids are so awesome.
Or they'll do like a skateboard sequence or something. Back in the day when new phones were only $22.
Also, back in the day when you could buy a phone from the hardware store.
Yeah. That's all you needed. That's all the technical know-how and expertise you needed for them. It's just like, just show me where I can fasten it to the wall or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
These days, it's like you got to have a specific plan. Yep. Now, here's an aspect I hope they approach in the second season is let's actually see Joyce at work. Because I'm very curious to see... I'm very curious to see how she'd interact with customers after the year she had previous. Right. They'd all be like, hey, weren't you that lady who had all the Christmas lights up?
Didn't your son die? They found his body. Oh, God, spoilers. Jesus.
There was a Peter Gabriel song playing when we drudged him out of the river or the lake or whatever.
I mean, come on. Oh, boy.
Oh, my gosh. But...
I would have... Oh, yeah, okay. I thought the van would have been hysterical if the van was literally like 5 feet away from him and he just turned with his walkie-talkie and then the guy's like standing right there already.
Honestly, like, honestly, he could have easily just walked back. That's like only about 25 feet.
No, barely. Didn't really. He could have just like looked at the van and like head nod. Like, all right, he's good. Come on, guys. Come on, guys.
Yeah, this is playing heavily also into the ET-ish aspect when you expect people in space outfits or contaminant suits to invade your home.
Right. Well, they know what they're doing at least.
Again, one of the other drawbacks of having no audio here is you're not going to get faked out easily by the jump scares.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now I'm trying to see if I can recognize any of those action figures or any of those toys.
Right. Now those are like the threads on Reddit that I dig when some kid is like, hey, I found this toy from like 1972. Can anyone tell me what it is? Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, yes. I had it.
Now, here's the project. What'd they get the volcanic eruption? Okay, so
Volcanic
it was a whole
eruption.
put the baking soda in the top, I'm guessing, and
Yeah, right. Oh boy, 11 knows something.
now I don't know, but really the paper mache volcano warrants the first place in the science fair, even in the 80s?
Well, in the 80s, it was still a new project.
I guess so.
No, hey buddy, no one was doing volcanic eruptions in the 80s. Except for the Stranger Things boys. Now, what do you think? Did they find this house already looking like this, or did they have to make it look like this?
I mean, you know, you have to wonder, like, how much of this is, well, I have a feeling that, yeah, this is all set, but they'd have to address it in a certain way. But, like, the exteriors, I'm sure you can find a house very much that has stayed exactly the same on the outside as it has since the early 80s.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like in New Jersey, there's blocks and blocks of houses that are just identical.
Oh, yeah.
Same outside, same inside. It's, I mean, probably everywhere, too, but...
I live across from a neighborhood straight from the 80s, so yeah. Oh, here we go. She's gonna have her Storm moment, because Storm from the X-Men is claustrophobic too, I think, right?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
But now she's Wolverine.
Yeah, now she's Wolverine. So she's very, very fucked up in several ways.
Yeah. Dude, the papa, that's...
Like her performance is so good. It makes it very uncomfortable to watch.
You know, you kind of squirm a little bit. You're like, It's one of those moments you don't want her to be such a good actor.
It's like, don't try so hard. You're making me cry.
Yeah. You know, yeah, you're making me feel very uncomfortable.
But yeah, I can see what you mean. Like, she's still very much playing into the stereotype 80s mom type role, being like, oh, you kids.
Yeah.
But again,
it's funny because it's a town suffering something huge, like, because kids didn't really, I mean, kids went missing, but like it was a big deal in the 80s when kids started to like really start go missing. Like the whole town stopped, you know?
Well, and that's where kind of that illusion of like, hey, this is a period piece kind of breaks, because she finally does acknowledge, like, I understand this is totally difficult for you and take whatever time you need. Whereas in any other film from that time period, the parents would be completely aloof as to even like, oh, a kid's missing? Oh, well.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Yeah.
Make sure you do your homework. Oh, Elle, you wreck me. Frantic phone assembling action.
Yeah, right. God, that's so weird. I mean, I know. I mean, we're not like. I'm 36. I'm an old guy. I grew up with phones like this, but still seeing it now, it just seems so weird.
Yeah, like I'm trying to recall, when was the last time I actually either witnessed in real life or witnessed on this silver screen a rotary or button phone house phone. Because now these days, like, yeah, cell phones and everything in handheld have just become the norm for...
Yeah. Oh my God, I was at my aunt's house the other day, and I was looking at a photo that she had of my parents when they were like 30, and I swear to God, I tried to zoom into the photo. On a photograph in a frame. I tried to zoom in.
You swiped?
Yeah, oh yeah, I touched the glass, and my cousin looked at me, and I was like, holy shit, I just tried to enlarge this photo in a photo frame.
Oh, wow, man. That's kind of amazing. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering now if, how often that's an occurrence for some people now is to...
Yeah, or like you're reading an article and you think like, oh man, if I had Control F.
Oh.
So he's been dead a night?
Yeah.
probably?
Yeah, because the lady posing as a social worker came for her the evening before, because, yeah, that's when the kids found Elle out in the rain.
Yeah. So I love this moment in the movie, or any movies or TV shows, when, like, the drunk, aloof cop, you start to see him exhibit elements of, like, badassery, you know?
Gets his act together.
Yeah, like, he wakes up and he drinks a beer, and then he smokes a cigarette, and he comes into work late, but then he's like, hey, what about that scratch on the door? Like, look at the way he's holding the gun. Like, he starts to, like, okay, this guy, yeah, he's good. He's going to be our hero.
I'm trying to remember which kind of films pioneered that type of character for me that I first remember seeing. Because I have seen that character, like, done before, but it's really done well here too, and you get why the guy's a train wreck. Sometimes they don't even give you, like, a backstory. The guy's just a drunk, but at least here Hopper's got legit reasons why he's messed up.
Yeah, he's had a rough life, which we'll find out later. I don't know why I turned to a ghost just then.
Stranger things have happened.
Stranger things.
Chink. Here we go. This guy reminds me of, I don't know, he reminds me of kind of a...
Dermot Mulroney?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, in the face a little bit. I don't know why I was thinking, like, if John Wesley Shipp really turned to the dark side or something.
Oh,
that's what
I like that too.
Kind of remind me of a little bit. He looks nothing like John Wesley Shipp, but I don't know why I get a John Wesley Shipp vibe from him. Probably because I watched Flash earlier this year.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, here we go. Kids figuring stuff out. They're Hardy Boysing it like crazy.
Yeah, like storylines are coming together.
Now, in the background there, I just noticed, is that like supposed to be an 80s type of Furby? Right behind right there? That's weird looking, yeah. I don't recognize that toy.
Yeah.
He was right by the trophy on the dresser.
Where is it? Come on.
It's gone now.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like the things that they fill the rooms with, like the posters, the toys. It's great. Yeah.
Dustin wet himself.
Yeah, right. At least one kid is taking this all seriously.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, things are, yeah. Oh, we're in trouble. Okay. I just thought we were like goofing around. Like, no, we're in the shit. Great. Okay. Awesome.
And did you stow him away in the trunk?
Jerk.
But yeah, I like that's not so far removed from what it's trying to pay homage to. Like, Lonnie's definitely a stereotype through and through.
Right.
But at least he's interesting enough or performed well enough for me to root for Jonathan.
Yeah. But also their awareness of what they're doing, you kind of think, well, maybe they're gonna fool me, you know. So they kind of like set it up in a way that, okay, I know what you could do. Oh, you're not gonna do it, and then you're like, oh, you did it. Oh, okay. You still made it. You still made it a journey for me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and like when some surprising turns, like honestly, at this point in the series, I was kind of like, okay, we're gonna have like this one interaction with him, and I don't think he's coming back. Like, this is kind of just establishing more backstory for the Byers household, and I thought that would be the last we'd see of him. But when he comes back later on in the season, I'm like, okay, I like what they did with him and Joyce. Meanwhile, Nick Nolte. I don't know what he was doing, but we were fishing.
All I know is I'm sitting backwards on this chair. Like cops in the 80s do.
It typically would be good cop, bad cop. Here it's mildly interested cop and buffoon.
tell you, there's two things that 80s movies make look good: smoking and drinking coffee.
Yeah, honestly, now that you mention it, nothing says grizzled police work like, chain smoking like crazy and down in mugs and mugs.
Of like cold, disgusting, gross coffee. I don't know. There's something about it, like, all of it.
Well, because it's a clear sign they've been burning the candle at both ends.
Right.
Here's... Around here, too, when they're kind of connecting some of the dots, I was really on board with Hopper investigation. Because in the first episode, you're kind of like, what is this guy's deal? And obviously they haven't revealed a lot of it yet, but when he actually starts to get more interested in what's going on, that's when I got more interested in him as a character.
Yeah. But it's interesting because you see that he is a great detective. Like, he just was like, oh, well, if Will shaved his head, was that the kid you saw? And like, I never would have thought to ask that. Like, he's skilled at his level, which means that, like, he's going to be okay at the next level. Yeah. If that makes any sense.
No, it makes perfect. Like, this is what he's capable of when he actually applies investment in something. I love this.
So what happens when, like, the ghosts and the aliens show up?
Yeah. The skeptic is no longer the skeptic.
Yeah. The badass will still be a badass.
And again, I love this dinner interaction. And all their kind of side actions to keep the parents from discovering what's going on.
Yeah. Nothing like a glass of milk with your meatloaf, huh? A warm glass of milk.
Puts them right out. And again, I think I mentioned this again before. I'll probably repeat myself a lot as we go through these episodes, but the little girl playing the little sister has the most natural response to all the shenanigans.
Yeah, right, totally. All of it. She's just like calling bullshit all the time. Yeah, exactly. Bullshit.
Little Drew Barrymore. Which, by the way, she's on a great series, I think, on this platform, Santa Clarita Diet. Oh. Go watch it.
Yeah. I was very impressed with it.
Yeah, I made a mention of it about a week ago. I'm like, this series, it's the most I've liked Drew Barrymore since E.T., so good on you.
Way to go.
Not that I've thought she's god-awful or anything. It's just she's never really grabbed me in any of her adult performances or anything like that. Nothing she's done has really caught my attention.
Well, clearly you've never seen Charlie Angels 2 Full Throttle.
Oh, I've seen it.
Believe you me, friend.
She is overshadowed by the majesty that is Crispin Glover.
Oh, yes. Both times.
Both times. Because it's a whole thing with them. It's a whole arc. But anyways, back to Stranger Things. Sorry. And here, like you were mentioning before with the detective work, like he's applying and putting some common sense to it. Be like, could a kid crawl through this space and look where it leads?
He just found a medical bracelet in the forest. I mean, like, all right, you know what you're doing.
And a scrap of cloth. It's like,
yeah, right.
Not just in the forest at night.
I wonder, so did you grow up in a small town like this, or?
No, I lived in central Ohio and was in the suburbs, but nothing too far removed from Columbus. Like it was just down the road.
It's interesting, like the idea about a small town, right, with like no other towns around it. Yeah. But like there, like close by is a mysterious government building that we don't talk about.
Mm-hmm. Like that's the thing that always appeals to me with these types of movies or these types of stories is that the town, it's isolated, but it's not completely like isolated, if you get my drift. Yeah. Whereas in other movies, you can't tell where one town ends and the other begins. Here, it's a clear cut, like, well, the heavily forested area, stay away from there.
Yeah. but also there's a building there, like a compound. But we don't really talk about it. We don't go near it.
Here we go.
I don't think I've ever done
the spit
handshake before.
I never did that either. I can't remember. See, this is truly a relic of its time with regards to some of its concepts, because I don't think I ever did a swearsies type of obligation to friends.
Oh, Barb.
Yeah. I mean, if you're watching this with commentary, chances are you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I know. I keep spoiling, but I'm like, well,
they know already.
If you're watching Stranger Things for the first time while listening to our commentary, then I thank you. That's a huge compliment.
Thank you, but no offense, you're not really watching Stranger Things.
yeah.
But yeah, I hope there's some kind of not redemption, but more expansion, at least on that facet of the story.
Yeah.
Like she comes back as Shiva, destroyer of worlds, or something. I don't know.
Right? They should have I don't know, because the way that you find out Barb, what Barb goes through, you kind of know she's, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. Barb.
Well, again, it's playing on your expectations of this type of genre film or genre story, but not in the way you were expecting. Like, where you get more development on characters who would typically be two-dimensional and, let's say, the assholes of the story, like this guy. They kind of do the 180 on you with characters that you actually genuinely root for right out of the gate. Yeah. For the most part, they're kind of like, no, like, this is the person who's making sense. Don't get rid of them.
Oh, wait a minute.
And then this gets paid off briefly, because this is the librarian, right? Later on.
Oh, that's right, yeah, and they kind of bump into each other later.
I didn't know what to make of this scene for a while, until I think it was either the next episode or the fourth episode where they go to the library and she's acting very snide towards him. I'm like, was she the person? I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, it is. Again, go back to that old 80s trope of put glasses on somebody and they look completely different. Or I guess that's not an 80s trope, that's a Superman trope or whatever.
Superman trope.
Put glasses on him, total transformation.
Oh man, I just kind of spoiled myself a little bit. I was looking up IMDb to see. I was looking up Barb because I was just kind of like, okay, let me do a little Barb research. And I went to the Stranger Things page, and it has a bunch of actors and actresses who are in season 2 that I did not know about.
Yeah, I saw an announcement. I think like Sean Astin is in.
Yeah, Paul Reiser.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't know that. Like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, not like it's spoiling anything, but still, it's like, oh.
It'll be cool to see them. I mean, it makes sense for them to be there too, because kind of riding the Matthew Modine probably motive here is like Matthew Modine tied very strongly to that era.
Yeah,
like true. Those were the golden days for him, and definitely Sean Astin and Paul Reiser probably have a lot of success 80s. Associated there.
Yeah.
As long as Paul Reiser's playing a guy named Burke.
God damn it, Burke! Did you... So this was interesting. Like, this part, like, watching her...
Put it all together? Or show off to them, like, what is going on?
Did you get it? Like, did you kind of, like, see where things were going?
Not necessarily. No. I didn't really get it until about the next episode where not the next episode, but what was it? Yeah, the next episode where Joyce is taking an axe to the wall.
Yeah.
Like I was starting to get it then, and at this point I was kind of like, what does that mean? Flipping the board. Okay.
Yeah.
And again, what you were saying about the foreshadowing, the blackness of the bottom of the board tying into what we see later on in the season.
kind of great.
Kind of a great parallel there. But yeah, I really wasn't getting that right from that scene. It wasn't until stuff is coming out of the wall that I'm like, oh, okay, I get it.
He's here, but he is not here.
I'm half expecting the Silent Hill alarm to go off any second now. Like, if it had done that, I would have been like, oh.
I get it. Don't you like that, though, about, like, pop culture? And, like, we're talking about, like, alternate realities on top of our reality. Mm-hmm. But, like, that's a pretty complex idea. And we're just talking about it because we're being silly about a TV show. Yeah. All right, well, maybe I'm too in it right now, but...
Well, I mean, that's been the kind of crux of these types of stories, too, is that, sure, it can be kind of absurd to talk about, but then you start to actually really think about it, you're like, no, really? It is possible, maybe.
I'm talking about, like, complex quantum mechanics. Like, you know, but in a silly way.
Or string theory, yeah. I mean, this is stuff I've been thinking about since I was, like, 5 years old, and I read my first, like, run-through of, what was it, Crisis on Infinite Earths, being like, yeah, what if I turned left instead of right? I created a completely new universe.
Huh, what do you know? I have never been able to do that.
I've never done that in my life either. I've been able to pound a beer bottle, you know, like just finish off a beer bottle in one chug, but not like shotgunning it like that, no.
That's how out of touch we are. We're either ahead of the curve for even knowing about it, or we're behind the curve because kids are still doing it.
Well, you know, in our day, or right now, back in my day, I wouldn't settle for some cheap swill like that. I'd find myself a nice Belgian lager to
shut up, no way.
To savor. No, I remember my college days, plenty of, oh God, Natty Light in the...
Oh, yeah. I'm familiar with the old Natty Light.
Cases of Natty and all that. Not even Natty Light, but like natural Natty Ice, too. Ugh.
Oh, God, yeah. I think that was my beer, too.
Well, because you could get like cases for, what, $10? Oh, Barb, don't.
She, like... That was like the deepest cut I've ever seen in my time.
I know. So either the membrane of her skin is wafer thin, or that knife is a fine-tuned, like laser point accurate tip, and Steve's actually a slasher or something. And again, these two assholes.
Yeah, right. At least the pool's heated.
Yeah.
I like seeing like a pie chart of like when it was acceptable to push people in pools. How it like totally like bottoms out the moment cell phones come around.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking when the scene first happened. Is like, oh man, just remember that day. Remember the days when you didn't have to worry about, oh crap, my phone's still in my pocket.
The carefree days of just jumping into a pool. I'm going to be spontaneous.
Poor Winona.
Poor Winona.
I would like to think on some occasions they just took 5 and let her like kind of just chill out on the set, and then they just scared her at random points.
Oh, probably. Like keep her in this constant state of like terror and unease.
Which totally explains the way she looked at the acceptance speech.
Oh man, like she went through Nam.
I haven't slept right for 6 months.
Please God.
Yeah.
Have you found Will yet?
Will's not real. Here's the actor. He's right here. He's fine. Will! Now, yeah, I might mention this before, but if you ever do want to turn this into a drinking game, just don't make every time she says Will a rule, because
you will be dead.
You will be dead. Because I do it for Game of Thrones. Every time there's nudity or violence or something like that, I'll take a drink
No
of something.
way. Really?
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh. Check out my videos, Game of Booze, my video log series here on McGTV.
That's right. I think when I first saw one of them, I was like, how are you still alive?
Yeah.
And I think the one I watched was like particularly nudie and violent.
Yeah, it was. I think they had gone to Harem Town or whatever. Like that's I won't.
Okay.
I'll never do it for this show where it's like every time someone says "will" because you will be dead, and I'll never do it for Westworld because whatever they do on Game of Thrones, they do 10 times more on Westworld.
Oh,
and I'm like,
yes,
can't do it. Not healthy.
Not gonna do it.
Not gonna do it. I'm not a host. I can't take all that abuse.
No. Jaws, okay. Something from underneath coming up. All right.
Yeah, that was Jaws. So that was another horror film, I guess. So we got Evil Dead, we got Jaws. I'm not sure what that poster is with the red cross over in the corner.
Yeah, that was... Yeah.
I don't know if that's a movie poster or if that's, a band. I never get a good look at it, but... Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Love that.
Like, even here, I was kind of like, well, okay, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. Freddy, I guess. Like, honestly, I think that was... At first, I'm like, are they just paying homage to Nightmare on Elm Street now? Because that's kind of cool.
I like that most Netflix TV shows have this one moment where you doubt the reality of the show.
Yeah.
Where you're like, wait, what if she's just crazy and this is all in her head?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, come on.
Like, if it wasn't for the fact that we saw a humanoid of some kind abduct him in the first episode, I would kind of gather, like, is she just falling apart mentally?
Yeah, like, imagine that. Like, imagine this whole show is just a woman who killed her son, and the whole town is how it's, like, grasping for, kind of to make sense of it all. Like, the two kids are, like, concocting this whole story, but ends up just being like, no, she killed her kid, and you kids are just dealing with grief.
Oh my God! Like,
well,
yeah, if it's only turned, it's like, no, this is about how a youth tries to struggle with coping with the loss of a friend. This is the fantasy, or this is the delusion they feed themselves.
People would have burned Netflix down.
Man, yeah, I kind of would have been upset by that. It's like all this supernatural stuff, the imagery you're showing, and it amounts to the payoff of someone needs to go to therapy.
Yeah, like a lesson. It was all a lesson. No.
It's like, no, come on. Fuller House is already on here. We don't need shows with grand family morals.
Fuller House. Yeah.
Oh, Barb.
I can't say that because I haven't watched it, so I don't know.
I tried to sit through an episode, and I was like, yeah, I can't go back to being 5 years old and not caring about this. Oh, Barb.
Oh, Barb. She was just looking out for her friend.
Mm-hmm. Now, when he's doing this, I'll admit I was kind of like, all right, buddy, that's a little weird that you're taking pictures, but
yeah,
I get photography's your passion, but your brother's missing.
And that's going to bite you in the ass later, buddy. I mean,
Yeah.
like, that's not even a spoiler. That's like you see a character doing something like that,
As soon as he
fine.
started taking pictures of them, I was like, yeah, this is going to come back and get you. Like, when he was taking pictures of the actual quote-unquote crime scene or disappearance scene, like, I was like, okay, maybe that's how he discovers what's going on and how he figures out the connection to the other realm. But then when he starts... Essentially, yeah, he's spying on them. I was like, that's going to come back and get you, dude.
Yeah.
And
Zip.
Oh. No, if it goes that direction,
No.
that's for you Black Mirror fans out there. That's a different show entirely.
Oh.
I figured when he started taking pictures of Barb, that's where it was leading. Like, that's going to be the next piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, in a small town in, like, the middle of the country, at one moment, there's only one person bleeding.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Like,
well, I guess, you know what, she is kind of... God,
that is a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
That knife, I'm telling you, it was forged in the fires of something. And she's gone. Way to go, Peter Parker.
Right?
You weren't paying attention. Got so caught up with your photography, you missed it all in your spider sense.
The most important thing. Green Goblin just showed up and took your girl.
Swooshed. And yeah, this is kind of an awkward scene, but it's supposed to be, I guess. Yes, that's the intent.
Oh, that's how it ends.
Yep, you gotta wait for next time. What happened? You're gonna be you're gonna be very mad at the first 5 minutes of the next episode, aren't you?
I am. I was ready to be mad now.
But so that was the Weirdo on Maple Street, and yeah, we'll try to make this more of a regular kind of occurrence leading into season 2. But
I will say, I think having some time pass since I originally seen the show to now, I'm like, oh my god, let's keep watching it. What are you doing?
I know the temptation is very strong. I have done that on occasion with Max on the Daredevil commentaries. Was that let's just do another episode? But I was curious. It's like, what would this run through of the show be for you now in terms of number? Would it be 3rd, 4th, 5th?
I think this is 3rd.
Okay, because I'd say this is 4th for me because I saw it initially. Then I rewatched it the following week just to be like, I love this show. Then I introduced it to my mom and dad over the holidays. Like, we spent the weekend because, you know, we had some time on the weekend and they came to visit. And we're just like, you know what? I got this show on my Netflix queue that you guys should watch. And they got really into it. And then here we are with commentary, so...
Yeah, I think something very similar happened where I watched it, and then I was like, all right, you got to watch this with me. And then I watched it again, and then, I don't know. I think there was 2 times, and this is number 3.
Yeah, it's addictive once you get started. Yeah, I'm fighting the urge to say let's just keep going, but it's late, so... Yeah. But thank you again, Mark, for chit-chatting over an episode, and we'll continue this as much as possible now that we know there are folks out there who... enjoy it.
Yes, thank you for watching and commenting and liking and all that stuff.
Definitely. Is there somewhere where they can like and comment to anything that you're doing? Anything with regards to Twitter or anything like that? Or
yeah, I'm one of the writers, collaborators on neverendingradicaldude.com. I believe Jason Fury has appeared on a few of your episodes and shows and whatnot.
Yep, and I'll probably get around to getting you guys back on more often because we'll definitely be doing other stuff like Remake Revolution and things like that. That'll be coming back pretty strong soon. But
great.
Definitely, neverendingradicaldude.com. Check out more of Mark's excellent posts over there. Check out some of the videos over at, what was it, Rad Nerds is the handle on YouTube, where they got
I believe so, yeah.
Nerd 30 and things like that. Again, that's one of my favorite videos.
Speaking of chugging beers.
But check them out over on neverendingradicaldude.com, Rad Nerds, and of course check out more videos here. Check out Game of Booze right here on McGTV, youtube.com/MikeMcGTV.
Do it.
I'll see you on the upside down a little bit later, sir.
Yeah, very nice. See you there.
Peace.